Hi, I'm Jerry Lew, like Jerry Lewis without the IS. I'm a car specialist for CarbrokerX. I've been selling cars for more than 30 years. Ever since selling my first 1983 Nissan 300Z as a car professional, I've been working with cars all my life, so I know cars. Today I'm going to give you an unbiased series of reviews of the hybrid and electric cars. We start with a 2013 Chevy Volt. Here's a short video from my friends at Consumer Reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on the latest marvel of electric vehicle engineering from GM, the 2013 Chevrolet Volt. The Volt is loaded with new technology, including features like an LCD dashboard, high-tech drivetrain computers, regenerative braking, and more. Huge thanks to GM for letting me drive it around for a week, so without further ado, let's check it out and look at the awesome features on the 2013 Chevrolet Volt. The Volt is an extended range vehicle from GM. There's absolutely no combustion engine under the hood. The car is completely powered by an electric drivetrain, which is powered by a battery. Now the battery runs from this center console here back through the car to behind the back seats in a T formation. Now GM states that the battery holds 16 kilowatt hours of power and will charge on a 120 volt normal household outlet in 8 to 10 hours. That battery will then deliver you what is supposed to be 38 miles to a charge. Now I know what you're thinking, 61 kilometers, 38 miles, it's not really that far. You're going to have trips that are longer than 61 kilometers. The reason why this isn't a hybrid and it's classified as an extended range vehicle is because there is also a gas tank in this vehicle, and when the battery is depleted, a small generator under the hood kicks in and uses a minute amount of gas to keep the electric drivetrain running. Now after driving an electric car for the first time, I have to say it was way different. I mean, you have to kind of grasp the concept that there's no engine RPMs. Everything delivered in this car is electronic torque from the battery. When I first started driving it, it was really weird because I got in, I stepped on the accelerator, and I was waiting for this big vroom from the engine, but there's no engine. It's just a battery. The car is so silent when it's on battery mode. You literally could hear a dime drop. Now, like I said before, GM says that this car will get 38 miles per battery charge, but you have to understand that that is perfect 38 miles in perfect weather conditions, perfect, flat land. So I've been using this car in temperatures anywhere from -10 to like 10 degrees Celsius. And I've been getting about 31 miles, which is like 51 to 53 kilometers on each battery charge. Now, charging this at home, I was using the 120 volt charger that comes standard with the vehicle in the back. And using that charger, GM states that you should charge in about 8 to 10 hours. Now, I was actually getting a charge in 17 to 18 hours. Apparently, the 2013 Volt defaults to a slower charging cycle, so it doesn't overload your circuits. Quick change in features in the center console here, and I was getting the charge in like 8 to 10 hours. So I mean, very cool that it actually does charge in that time and GM's not just pulling your chain, but really strange that it doesn't, default to maximum capacity. Now I should also mention that you can get a 240 volt charger at an additional cost. Instead of charging in 8 to 10 hours, that will actually charge your battery in as little as 4 hours. The Volt features 4 different drive modes. There is normal, which is just normal. There is the mountain mode, the sport mode, and then hold. Now, sport mode is my absolute favorite because when you put it into sport mode, you can really feel the acceleration in this thing kick off. Now, you have to remember that when you do that, it's probably going to kill the battery a little bit quicker, but it's just such an awesome experience. Another feature that the Volt has is regenerative braking. So that means that when you brake or you're applying any sort of kinetic energy to the car then takes that energy and turns it back and recycles it into energy that the battery uses. But just to think that the car is powering itself, it's not a lot of energy, but just that little bit more energy that you can have, the fact that the car is using the kinetic energy that it is creating to then recreate energy for itself is just mind-blowing. And what's really cool is that you can actually see a power flow chart that comes up here in the energy mode cycle on the 7-inch navigation screen here. Before I talk about anything else inside the car, I have to touch on the outside of this car. Personally, I think this car is beautiful. It's so futuristic looking. It's so slick. The headlights look awesome. The chrome grille at the front looks awesome. Just the overall aerodynamics of this car, it makes you feel like you're driving a Ferrari 458 down the road because so many people are staring at you. Moving on to the interior of the car, the Volt is just as high-tech on the inside as it is under the engine. My favorite part of this entire car, battery aside and all, is this LCD dashboard screen that they give you here. This is so cool that they've kind of moved away from the standard physical dials, and I can have this customizable display in front of me. Now, easily my favorite feature in the screen feature is this little gauge that gives you that, it tells me when I do something stupid to burn energy. Like when I accelerate really hard, there's this ball that's in the middle of this gauge, and when I accelerate, the ball goes way up and turns red. When I brake really hard and I'm burning energy like that, the ball goes way down and turns red. But when the ball's in the middle, that means I'm gaining maximum fuel efficiency. Now, moving over to my console here, the only physical buttons I have on this console are the energy mode button, drive mode button, the power button, my four-way flashers, the unlock and lock buttons, and then the electronic parking brake. Everything else is a touch tone button, minus the volume knobs, which are physical moving knobs. But everything else is a touch tone button on this like really slick, glossy panel, which they have here. Now, I think you can also get this panel in white, in different variations and different trims of the car, but I can't see having like a white console in my car. I'd definitely go with the gray. They're getting the consumer used to the fact that someday, hopefully, this will all be just like a big old 17-inch flat panel display like it is in the Tesla Model S. The infotainment system on board this car is the MyLink system from Chevrolet, which is very similar to the IntelliLink system that we saw in the Buick Verano, which is why I didn't really do a brand new video on it explaining the technology, because it's got a lot of the same features. Easily my favorite feature on the MyLink system, which I forgot to mention on the Verano also had it, is the Tune Select feature with XM, which means that I can kind of configure certain songs. I can set those songs in a My Favorites list on my XM, and what XM will do is scan all of the XM band, all 200 of the XM radio stations. It will scan them all, and as soon as that artist or that song comes up on XM, a big notification will pop up on my screen here and say, "Run to the Hills" by Iron Maiden is playing. Do you want to tune in? And then I can click tune in. This car will comfortably seat 4 people. There is only 2 seats in the back because the battery runs from this console to the back, so there's no bench in the back. It's just 2 seats. There is a console in the back like this that you can put things in. However, like I said, it seats 4. I had Jarrett Muir, Greg O'Grady, Ryan Lambert, Corey Robinson, Justin O'Halloran, Walter Lee, and myself in here just to test that out. That's 7 people in the Volt. Now, contrary to popular belief, this is not a sedan. It's actually a hatchback, which it makes it even cooler. And room back there in the trunk is limited because you got to imagine that the battery pack back there, the chargers back there, there's a lot of stuff in the back of this car because it's an electric car. But there is still a lot of space in there. Now, one of the most important things in this review, this is an electric car. So it's going to cost a little bit more money, but that money should pay itself back by saving you a lot of money at the gas tanks. And I can tell you right now, it will. I've had this car for a little over a week. I've put over 1,000 kilometers on it. And right now, my average fuel economy is 3.6 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers driven. That means that to a tank, I can get 830 kilometers. And a tank of gas in this Volt is $30. Another cool feature of the OnStar app is that, like, say I'm in my office and my car is down in the parking lot and I want to go to this new Mexican restaurant for lunch. I can go to the OnStar app on my phone, look up the Mexican restaurant in navigation, and then send those directions to my vehicle. All I have to do is step in my vehicle, hit the power button, and my turn-by-turn navigation has begun. I've really enjoyed driving the Volt for the past week. I mean, I have to admit, when I originally got it, the electric torque and the, no engine RPMs kind of threw me off, and it was like, do I really like this car? But after driving it for the past week, I've been driving this everywhere, and after driving it, it's just such a cool car, and I've gotten used to the electric RPMs now, or the no RPMs, I should say. The Volt is a new genre of cars. I mean, it's not a hybrid, it's an extended range vehicle, whereas there is a mode where this car is completely powered by a battery. No fuel is being used, and I really hope that this technology becomes more widespread and you start to see it in more homes. Before this car sees widespread application, I really think that GM needs to do a couple of things, and the first one being the obvious, and I think the battery needs to last longer. I mean, you don't want this to be just a commuter car. You want to bring this car everywhere because it's such a cool car. So I think that the battery range needs to be extended. If not, the 240 volt charger become cheaper, because I think it's $3,000 right now, and then you get $1,000 kickback from the government. So you're looking at about extra $2,000. I would love to see either the price of that charger come down or a new, more rapid charge technology be implemented into these cars. Because, as soon as you come home and the battery's depleted, you want to be able to just get going right again with the new battery. So guys, this has been Luke from LukeDeMarco.com and Dimco Media. If you have any questions about the 2013 Chevrolet Volt, be sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. I'm literally driving this car back to give it to GM right now. That's how long I waited to do this review, because I wanted to get the most out of this car. But thank you so much for watching my review. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. If you like this video, be sure to like the video down below. It really helps us out. So without further ado, before I crash this car on the 401, my name's Lew of CarbrokerX, and I'll see you in the next video.
There are more than $10,000 in rebates and extraordinary discounts on this 2013 Chevy Volt. At CarbrokerX, I can get a lease for this $45,000 vehicle for as little as $149 a month plus tax and license. For every 1,000 miles, it costs approximately 25 cents in electrical gas charges. This is the car of the future and available today. Just think about the savings at the gas pump. This car more than pays for itself. Call me today at 310-905-3035. I will set up a VIP test drive for you on this and many other cars that are available. Don't get hustled by car dealers. I never charge my customers, and we make the dealers compete for your business. Remember, I work for you.